Let's do Matty Godden first up. I guess to many people, although he wasn't on the transfer list, it seemed right through the summer as though he was a player that might move on, and that's turned out to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everyone it's worked out probably right. For Matty, obviously he wants to play regular football, and even last season he didn't achieve that really. So we got good money for the boy. He's a great lad. I wish him all the best. He's gone to a good club. We hope he does very well, apart from obviously the 2 times he plays against us. But he's more than capable of scoring goals at this level, as we've seen. But I just think putting everything together, it was the right thing for everyone.
Do you want to reinvest a bit of that money, or are you happy with what you've got and the options at your disposal?
No, I think we'll take time and look at it, but no, not in certainly any rush to do anything at the moment. We feel we've got good options going forward. It may look to some that it's just 2 out-and-out strikers we have, but we see it slightly different than that, because we are, can play different formations where it's more of a 10 playing with a 9. So we feel we've got good attacking options. So certainly not at the moment, we're not going to be doing anything. We're always on the lookout for 1 or 2 younger ones, but that we feel have got potential, but no, nothing at the moment, I don't feel.
Yeah, increasingly it's the way so many clubs want to play, with that fluidity in attack and having players deeper and different shapes.
Yeah, listen, everyone's different, and you see a lot of clubs, and the most successful ones at the moment, you would say City and Liverpool play with 3 forwards, so everyone's different to how they want to do it. As long as the players have got full understanding of it, that's the main thing.
Is it all fairly relaxed here with the Premier League and Championship deadline at 5, all quiet?
Yeah, you're always wary at this club of losing players because we've got some talented ones, but that's not going to happen. I wouldn't have thought now. So we know the squad and the ones that we want to keep will stay intact, certainly till January, which is great for me, and we can crack on now. So it's just a case about getting ones out that obviously are surplus to requirements.
Yeah, Aaron Chapman on the bench at the weekend. Has he worked his way back in? What was the thinking there?
I've got to have 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and they're both available if we get the right, or they get the right club and we get the right deal. So I've got to have 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and if both of them were to leave, then obviously that'd be a situation we'd fill a gap there, because we couldn't just go with one. So that we're on the lookout for that, but at the moment the ones that are available have not got anywhere.
Yeah, and of course still a bit of time to go potentially with them moving out another month or so. When it comes to the team news for this weekend, still looking good on the injury front?
Yeah, no one's missing from last week. Josh Knight obviously only arriving the day before the game. I gave my reasons for that, why he wasn't in the squad. He will be this weekend, so he comes into it. So no, apart from that, we're all good.
Yeah, we saw with Marcus Maddison that even when he's had a disrupted pre-season and isn't perhaps considered fit enough to start the game, just a player who can always make that impact. He's had another week now to work on his fitness.
Yeah, he's had another week, had an hour in the game on Tuesday, covered decent enough ground, got the fitness into him, looks sharp, looks ready. So again, I suppose you would add him to the available ones to start anyway. He's certainly at that position now.
What's the thinking going into this one with picking the side? Because often after a defeat you may look to change things around, but as you yourself said last week, it's a bit different with the opening day where you've been working on it. And do you necessarily want to change too much around at this stage?
Yeah, I think you can sometimes simplify a result and a performance and say we have to be better, and that certainly was the case from Saturday in many different areas. One for me, most importantly, is stop conceding soft goals, and that gives you half a chance. Back to the basics of stop conceding goals, because obviously that gives the opponents confidence. It could change tactically the game plan, but no, there's certainly no need to start changing 6 and 7 things just through one game. Like I said, I think at Ireland the week, if we'd have won 3-1 and been brilliant, there would have been still areas where we felt we had to improve. So I don't think it should change in the aspect of things that we can't be too critical of the players. The players are fully aware there was a huge disappointment in the performance and also the result.
With individual errors of the level that we saw at the weekend, presumably a lot of that is in their head, in that some of the mistakes that we've seen there you're not going to see again for weeks and weeks.
Well, you hope not. And if it continues, then obviously we've got a squad to pick from, and that's the players were are fully aware of that. And what we spoke about on Monday was, look, let's get back to, or not let's get back to, but we can't concede goals of that magnitude in terms of letting teams off the hook. Really, it was so simple to score against us. So, but the players are fully aware of that, and if it was to continue, then obviously as a manager you would look to change personnel.
Is it slightly different this Saturday, Tuesday, that it's Oxford away for both games? I know it's two different competitions, but ordinarily with a cup game, in the past you've tended to play your strongest lineup, keep that consistency. Will you want to freshen things up between the two games, just to add some variation and have something different?
I can't answer that because I haven't even thought of Tuesday. I wouldn't start thinking about Tuesday until probably around about 6 o'clock on Saturday night. So I have no idea what, in terms of, generally I will go strong because it's the early part of the season, or just because we want to do well in every competition we enter. But I couldn't answer. There's so many different things that could happen on a Saturday that may force your hand for the Tuesday. So I only look at the first game, which is coming up.
Yes, one game may inform the other. With Oxford, had a very strong finish to last season and looked to have strengthened well as well.
Yes, finished the season as well as anyone, I think, and lost, obviously, White, lost a couple of loan players, Brown, who's gone on to Middlesbrough, replaced them with Woodburn from Liverpool, and Ford's come in from Rotherham, and Fosu from Charlton. Carl plays a particular way that hasn't really changed over the years, sort of 4-2-3-1. So they've got some good players that they brought into the club. And like you say, they had a good performance against Sunderland. Probably a tad unlucky to not win it. So it'll be a tough game, but at this stage of the season, they always are.
Carl must be up there with the manager you've faced as often as any other?
Probably. And the one that talks the most as well after the game. Probably. Yeah, I've come up against him for years. He's still relatively young, so I think we've always had that sort of rivalry when he's been at Milton Keynes, and he's got a good club, and yeah, I would imagine they're one of many that think they've got a possibility this season of doing well.
And of course it's one of the biggest cliches in football, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but has a key part of this week been about not getting too obsessed with last Saturday and keeping it in perspective?
I think everyone has to. I mean, we're not talking about 6 or 7 games here, we're talking about one match. I think that the way the game went on Saturday, the sort of atmosphere before the game, I think everyone would agree, the expectation, because of, I think, the magnitude of the signings we've made have been very good on paper, given that one like Beavers and Boyd does catch your attention, the other ones we feel are going to be good players. Added to that, the way the game went in terms of not just the fact that it went 2-0 down, but I think generally the performance was so quite ponderous and flat. I think that was what was disappointing to everyone. Second half we had a bit of a go. So I think the two things combined in the first half led to fair criticism, to be honest.